I'm about my business. Taking no losses, if that involves tripping, then I'm with it. Convicted felon, so I'm inhaling and blicking with no witnesses. Niggas is tripping, and you know what the feeling is? Jealousy makes them hate to see another brother making plans to elevate. Understand when you stand and learn to levitate. I could tell he hating by the faces he making. Time's too precious, can't waste it. Why hesitate? What's the use in the opportune if I won't preparate? No mercy on the snake.
Hey, what's shaking in your day today, man? What's the play? Top of the morning to you. That goes for the evening and afternoon too, you know. Hopefully you're blessed. And I just wanted to get something off my chest, man. I wanted to share something on my mind. I got a little time, so I wanted to submit this to you real quick. And I wanted to talk about our ability to make the best with less. You know what I'm saying? Particularly those of mine. You know what I'm saying? Those of like kind that share the same struggle, you feel me? I feel as though we've been equipped with the ability to make the best with less. You feel what I'm saying? And that's very important. Very, very, very important, especially in this day and age, you know what I'm saying? With the current time being the way it is, you know? Making the best with less is very important. And the pitfalls that come with that is if you never apply yourself to make it to where you can have more than the less you're making the best with, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? Don't settle for less, but while you have less than, you know what I'm saying, make the best of it. And I feel like more times than not, we're good at that. We're very, very, very good at that. We have the ability to do so because of our situation in this country. We've been forced to maintain with less. So therefore, that's where that ability came from, in my opinion. It's a natural ability. Now, that's not to say that there are not those among us who are malcontented, you know what I'm saying, discontented, they despise having less. And that's cool. It's cool to hate a lower position. You see what I'm saying? It's cool. That's not a bad thing. That should inspire you to raise up from that position. But until that day, you know what I'm saying, maintain and hold down the less that you have. And if you maintain that properly, when you get more, you know what I'm saying, you'll be able to maintain the more that you gain. And why did I think that was important? Why was that on my mind? I was really thinking, I came across something not too long ago that opened my mind to our situation. And it's a book called The Miseducation of the Negro. And in that book, it was stated that most of us go off to institutions, universities, and things like that to acquire knowledge, you know, rightfully so. But once that knowledge is acquired, we don't come back to invest in those who are making the best with less. So the mom and pop stores never grow beyond the mom and pop level because we hoard the knowledge, and then not only do we hoard the knowledge, we become malcontented to the point where we're more complainants than we are trying to solve the problem, you know? And I came across that and I was like, I'll be damned if I become that kind of person. If I acquire some knowledge, I want to share it with those who are trying to build, who are doing the best with less. Granted now, I'm gonna invest in those who I feel as though have the potential and, you know, warrant maybe something that I might know. And it should be a vice versa thing. I should represent somebody that's worthy or has the potential to do with the knowledge that you bestow upon me all that is necessary to do, you know what I'm saying, to achieve. That goes for me too. But on the flip side, I'm observing, making sure that I'm not, for a lack of a better term, cast my pearls among swine. I don't want to do that. Nobody should want to do that. And I don't know why that came to my mind, but that's the best way I could put it to paint the picture for you. Oh, my face mask, my face apparel, you know what I'm saying, so I could participate in society, you know, but it's kind of falling off my neck, you know what I'm saying. I had went out to get some tuna fish and salmon, the canned kind, you know what I'm saying. It's all good for the mind though. Those omega-3s, you know. Eat the fish, yes indeed. But it's very important because making the best with less is an art, it's a skill, you know what I'm saying. Not everybody can claim to have that skill, you know. And what you do with less determines how you'll handle more. Very important. I'm trying to hone my skills when it comes to that as well, as far as doing the best with less. you know? Because you're not always gonna have it in life. There's gonna be times when you're at your low, you know what I'm saying? But when you're at your low, how you operate in that lower position dictates how you will raise up from that position. That's very important. And I'm speaking in generalities because it can apply in any part of your life. Whatever, whether it's less money, you know what I'm saying? If you're not having enough love or companionship or enough reciprocity, you know what I'm saying? How you handle your having less of whatever dictates how you will maintain more once the time comes, because time is ever changing, so the time will come when you get more, you know what I'm saying? What you did with less will determine what you do with more. And I was thinking about that deeply, 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 especially when thinking about our current situation in this country, those of like kind and of like mind of the tribe, you know? We've been forced for so long to do or make the best with less, you know? I fear that we haven't broadened our scope, is probably the way to say that, toward more, you know? And I aim to do that daily, you know? I want to progress every day beyond yesterday. You see what I'm saying? And that should be the goal of all of us. And if we all make that our goal, I feel like achieving will just be a natural course of events. But if you settle with the less, just because you're maintaining with less doesn't mean that you're, you know what I'm saying, gonna grow. You have to be open to growth, open to development, open to raising up from your current position. That's very important as well. You gotta have that fire, that desire, that ambition, that inspiration, you know what I'm saying, to want to add to the less that you're making the best of at the moment. You know? Very important, very important. And it's also, it could potentially be a travesty if you're making the best with less, somebody that can invest in your situation, you know what I'm saying, they could pay tribute with some kind of knowledge, understanding, experience to better, you know what I'm saying, your lesser position, your lesser means, you know what I'm saying, they can improve on it, and then they withhold it. That's a travesty to me. Especially if you know that the person that you can invest in, or that you would invest in, or should invest in, you know what I'm saying, could potentially grow beyond that point. Especially if you also realize that their growth will be a benefit to all they encounter or come in contact with. You know? Because I feel like mentally, spiritually, not just financially, not just materially, we as a people, you know what I'm saying, me and my folks, we've been forced to deal and make the best with less. You know what I'm saying? We've been mentally deprived, spiritually deprived, you know what I'm saying? Of course, materially neglected. You know what I'm saying? Socially excluded, you know? But as long as we maintain that skill of making the best with less, when more does come and we're open to the more and we're open to the growth, it's all uphill from there. You can't tell me no different. It's all uphill because you've honed the skills of maintaining what you have or what you have. And never neglect what you have when you're taking on more. Still maintain what you have, but then, you know, welcome the more and just add to it. That's very, very, very important. Very important. Because think about it. When it comes to conversation, if you're trying to come to an understanding, right? Picture this. If I'm trying to come to an understanding with you, obviously I don't have the understanding if we're trying to come to an understanding. If you have the understanding, but you do not bestow the understanding upon me, we'll never come to a common ground. So I'm making the best with less. You know what I'm saying? I'm making the best with the understanding that I have. But, you know what I'm saying? You being the person that could bestow more and help me grow and expand on the understanding, therefore, and in turn, being a benefit to you and all we encounter. You know what I'm saying? Why would you hoard or why would you not invest, you know what I'm saying, for that sake? Why would you not invest for that sake? In that same book, you know what I'm saying? It said also, or he said also, God bless the dead, Carter G. Woodson, he also stated how when it comes to those who are doing the best with less, you see what I'm saying? The problem is those who go and acquire the knowledge, not only do they not invest, you know what I'm saying, but they also are extra hypercritical in a negative way, not constructively. They're hypercritical with those who are making the best with less. So not only are they not trying to come up with a solution, but they're adding and exacerbating the problem by, you know, pointing out what's wrong, being extra critical with no construction, with no trying to develop, you know what I'm saying, or grow what they see or what they recognize as lacking, you know? I feel like we got to change that part as far as when it comes to us and when it comes to us making the best of less, you know? That's very important because there will be times where you are going to have to deal with making the best of less. I've had to deal with it. I'm sure you too. If not right now, you've had to deal with that sometime in your life, and if you have it, it'll come, you know? I'm not wishing it on you, I'm just saying it's a natural part of living. It comes with breathing breath, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to do more with less at times. I feel like you can vent about it, you know what I'm saying? Find the ear, you know, let it off your chest, you know what I'm saying? There should be building within that venting as well, you know? Don't just be complaining, and not trying to come up with a solution. But I do feel as though you should vent. If you do complain with an action in mind. You know what I'm saying? Complain for the fact or for the reason of trying to build something. Do you feel what I'm saying? It got kind of choppy just now. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to complain, if you're going to vent, have in mind a process or a plan that you're going to try to implement to change what you're complaining about. Do you feel me? I feel like you do. So, yeah. Making the best with less is very important. Very, very important. That's important to your livelihood. That's important to anybody that is dependent upon you being the best you. You know what I'm saying? Dependent in terms of camaraderie, a companion. You know what I'm saying? Reliant as far as being unified under a common understanding. You see what I'm saying? Because, again, dependency is what cripples those who are seeking to be independent. Of course, naturally, because it's the antithesis of, right? But I'm saying, for real though, those who are, whose nature it is to be dependent, you know, you will never be able to expand past that dependency. So have a genuine dependence on your companion, a genuine dependence upon those who you're unified with under a common understanding, you know? Because in that dependency is reliability, is stability, you know? Not dependence like you're a leech, a parasite, and then you're just trying to soak up all the things that you personally need for your self-gratification, you know? I'm talking about dependency as far as relying. You know what I'm saying? That lean on me kind of thing, you know? You see what I'm saying? The shoulder to lean, you know, that should be prevalent in any interaction that you feel is beneficial to all involved. So I just had to get that straight, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? To make yourself the best you for all those who depend on you, making the best with less is very important. And there's nothing wrong with having less. It's only wrong if you don't aspire to have more than the less that you're dealing with or that you're making the best of. Aspire for more. Want more. You know what I'm saying? Be ambitious enough to go and get more, you know? And don't let nobody stop your desire to have more. Assuming that it's a positive more that you desire, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta put no illustration on that. You know what I'm saying? Make it a positive aspiration as opposed to a negative, detrimental one. You know what I'm saying? Or a self-gratifying one. You get what I'm saying? So, yes. Make the best with less. There's nothing wrong. Aspire to have more, you know? Because again, I can't stress this enough. When it comes to my loved ones, those are mine, you know what I'm saying? Those who are close to the heart, who share my same struggle, we've been forced to deal with making the best of less. Again, I had to say that again because it's the reality, you know? And that being a reality, it doesn't have to continue to be a reality. It's the only point I'm trying to stress to you right now. Though it is right now, it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It's but it is, honestly speaking. And I truly believe that. Because, as Carter G. Woodson said, when it comes to the knowledge we acquire, we put it on such a high pedestal that we don't seek to try to proceed beyond what we've been told was the way to proceed. And anytime you put somebody else's understanding or knowledge on a pedestal and you're not an equal participant in that understanding, you know what I'm saying? You don't have nothing to offer to build on that understanding. You see what I'm saying? You're already at a detriment. Now you're dependent in a negative way on the knowledge that was given to you, making you a detriment to all others, even the ones who do have that same knowledge. Definitely to the ones who don't. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you put it in your mind and regard their understanding as so much superior, so much more higher than the understanding of those who are making the best with less, when you come out and you share that wisdom, that knowledge, I guess, we'll call it education. When you share that education that you've been given, you're gonna put it in a way that makes it seem like since you don't have this knowledge, that's the reason that you're not prospering. When really, if you think about it, these institutions don't teach us anything that's practical for our development in a real sense, if you really think about it. Not in all cases, but in most cases. Because the point that he brought up, I dropped my face apparel. The point that Carter G. Woodson brought up, which is very important, is he gave an illustration of a girl that used to go to class, right? And his teacher saw her at a fruit stand. So he was wondering, like, what happened? Why didn't you continue to attend class? You were on your way, you were doing better. She wasn't the best student, she couldn't get the book understanding, but she was practical in her means of making a living. She knew how to make a living. So she went to work with her mother at the fruit stand, and then when the teacher saw her, he was like, where you been? You know what I'm saying? And she broke down to him that it's more important to make a living and be happy because she was content. You know what I'm saying? It's more important to do that than to get understanding by way of books that won't teach me how to use my ability to be practical, And that's very important because oftentimes we go off to these institutions, these universities, and though we have a higher understanding, though we learn concepts and philosophies outside of our current understanding, the ability to come back and invest that understanding for practical means is the important part of any education, any knowledge, any understanding. That should be the goal, And that was a issue in need of a solution that Carter G. Woodson laid out. You go, you get the knowledge, you come back, and instead of investing for the sake of building, you're inputting negativity, complaints, malcontents, Now, he also said, pertaining to that same girl who was seen at the fruit stand with her mother making a living, he said if she did have the aptitude or the willingness or the desire to pursue higher education, she would be benefited better, not just her personal benefit, but her mother's benefit, whose fruit stand it was, who owned the fruit stand. She would be benefited to go and study, production, go study commerce, go study things that she can actually apply, accounting, bookkeeping, things that are gonna help that business thrive, business administration, instead of going to learn about, Socrates and, literature, old English literature and all this other stuff that's not really practical or that you cannot use to build beyond your current position. So, that's the case of people getting more knowledge, more education, and still not able to make the best with the less, or with less. Not less as far as the people who don't have the knowledge of less, but I'm talking about their circumstances, society, as being less, They're unable to make the best among those who have less. So what's the point of getting more if you have not been able to maintain and make the best with less? There's no point for more understanding, more knowledge, more education. All those things will in turn be a detriment. Why? I think you know the answer. You know what I'm saying? If you feel what I'm saying thus far, it's because they haven't been able to make the best with less. Now, I'm not promoting remaining in a position to endure with less or maintaining less. Because as I said earlier, you should aspire to have more than the less that you're dealing with or making the best of, without question. Without question. So yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And it seems like this is a conversation that needs to be had, because I really do, not like I got it all, I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. You know, I'm maintaining in my position. I'm making the best with less. Because you're always in a position of less if you always see yourself as having more. That's just my personal philosophy. You could disagree, it's cool. I'm not tripping on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna spaz on you or nothing like that. But I always see myself in a position of having less. So therefore, my ambition will never die, because I'm always aspiring to have more. So that being said, I'm maintaining where I'm at, making the best with less until I get more. But I'm saying that to say, this conversation is important because I feel for those who are dealing with less, who have less, you know? The reason being, especially those of mine who are close to the heart, who share my struggle, it's because time has been time has been steady as far as what it's supposed to do, as far as going on, but history and time has showed us that we're deserving of more at this time in history. You know what I'm saying? We're deserving of it. Now, even though we're deserving of it, doesn't mean it's just gonna be given to us, so we're still having to deal with making the best with less. You feel me? But that being said, that right there is what tears at my heartstrings, because I know that we're deserving of recompense, we're deserving of something to better our dealing with less. But until we make up in our mind that it's gonna be us who do it, who does it, who makes it happen, who allows us the opportunity to have more, until we decide that and stop expecting them to give us what is owed, we'll never get what's owed, because we haven't organized with the less that we have. We're not making the best with less. You see what I'm saying? We're not making the best with it. Because your complaints, everything you vent, I feel like the significance of what you're venting about or complaining about holds more weight depending on your current status. And let me break that down. What you're doing in your current position, even though you despise it, you don't like it, you want to change it, people are going to view, not that you got to impress anybody, I'm talking about amongst us. So forget everybody else, society going to judge us how they will. I'm talking about amongst us. When you complain or you vent about something that you don't like, you're discontented, people are going to view what you're doing in that position that you despise. So if all you're doing is complaining, but you're not taking steps to do anything different, you're not trying to make something happen, you're not trying to develop nothing, grow nothing, you're not saying no solutions out your mouth, all you're doing is complaining. Now the complaint, even though your complaint might be justified, it might be logical, it might make sense, it might be true. You know what I'm saying? The complaint now is less valued because you're not busting no moves, you're not doing nothing, there's no energy. Besides your venting and your frustrations, there's no energy to make nothing different. So therefore, nobody's gonna want to invest in your situation or pay tribute to you because you haven't proven that you're trying to aspire for more or get more. You know what I'm saying? And that's why having fire and drive and ambition is important. Whatever you're ambitious for or toward, you know what I'm saying? Positively. I'm hoping, I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your ambition is for or toward, it's important to retain that when you are making the best with less. Very important, because without that ambition, you'll fall into the trap or you'll fall into the category of somebody just complaining and venting about their situation that they can't stand. And people are only going to hear that for so long. Except for me, like, I'm a listener. I'll listen to you all day, but if you don't want to hear no solutions, you might not want to talk to me. You know, you're going to probably get disappointed because I'm going to tell you what you need to do, what I feel like you should do. All suggestions, you know what I'm saying? Unless you want instructions, I'm not going to give you instructions, you know? Unless you get down with my program, how I'm parlaying and politicking and stuff like that, I'm not finna force no instructions on you, but I'll give you suggestions all day and advice. But if you don't want to hear that, you might not want to vent to me. But I'm going to listen. But for the most part, people out in the world, even amongst us, they're not going to listen to that venting for so long. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to listen to your complaints that long. So my advice to you, you know what I'm saying? Keep that drive, that fire, that ambition within you. You know what I'm saying? Never lose it, never compromise it, and keep it inflamed. You know what I'm saying? Keep it ablaze. You know what I'm saying? Keep it there. And then that'll spur you in your moments when you're making the best with less. That will spur you on to get more, to grow from that point. But make sure you maintain and holding down the less you're making the best of. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that's the case. Because once that more come up on you, you're going to squander it if you haven't been maintaining where you at or what you have. Very important. That's why I make it a point, no matter where I'm at in life, what I have, I want to maintain that. I want to hold that down. I want to make sure that that is solidified, that is solid, you know what I'm saying? That is doing what it's supposed to do, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you feel what I'm saying. You could put any phrase in that place to make you, feel what I'm saying, but you get what I'm telling you. As long as I'm holding down what I do have and making the best with less, I'm prepared for more. I'm ready for more. I'm going for more, you know? But if you haven't gotten to that point yet, if you haven't decided within yourself that though I have less and though I don't have what I want right now and though I don't got bada bomb, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just hold down what I got right now. I'm gonna keep my mind and eyes open, my eyes peeled for the opportunity to get more, but I'm gonna make sure what I got right now is straight. I'm gonna make sure what I got right now is maintained and kept up, you know? If you haven't made that up in your mind, don't pursue more, you know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna be a detriment to you. That's why you be seeing all these people that hit the lottery and then they go crazy, end up committing suicide, committing murder, get strung out on drugs and all that. You know why? Because when that 30 million hit, 100 million hit, they wasn't making the best of 5,000. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't doing what was right with 5,000. 2,000, however many thousand, or 100. You feel me? So when the more hit, look what happened. You can go do your research and see about that. I'm not lying to you, and I feel like that's the reason why. It's because they were unable to make the best with less. That's an important art. We've been forced to damn near master that art because of our situation in this country, but don't scoff at that art. You know what I'm saying? Make it better. You know what I'm saying? Tighten it up, polish it. That's gonna be important for the time when you get more. Because that day is coming, you know what I'm saying? More is gonna come to you. Whether for the good or the bad, and everything is what you make it. So a lot of money could be a bad thing depending on what you make it. And then vice versa, a lot of money could be a very good thing depending on how you make it. But everything is what you make it, and more is coming eventually. It's gonna come for you. How you maintaining what you got is gonna determine what you do when you get more. Believe that. Believe that. But indeed, another beautiful day in sunny California. Almost said Southern California. I'm trying to get out there pretty soon too, man, see what Southern California got going, you know. But like I said, right now, until that day, I'm gonna make the best with less, what I got right now, where I'm at right now. I feel like too, let me say this last thing and I'm gonna go ahead and slide through, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up out of here. But I feel like you should appreciate, this gonna sound like a cliche, but you should know this and you should be employing this in your life. You should appreciate where you at, but don't be complacent, you know? Appreciate what you got, what you doing, what you have at the moment, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't appreciate that, if you're not grateful for where you at, what you got, you know what I'm saying? You're mishandle when you're in a different situation, where you have more to handle and deal with and maintain, you're not going to appreciate that either. You see what I'm saying? So appreciate where you at. Don't be complacent. Don't be stagnant. Still be pushing to get more. But just appreciate where you at. Appreciate the life you living as far as the breath you breathing right now, what your eyes are visualizing in front of your face at the moment. You know what I'm saying? What your hands are touching at the moment. Appreciate those things, you know? Because once it's gone, it's gone. You'll experience all those things in a different way once you leave the flesh. You know what I'm saying? But until that day, appreciate where you at. Appreciate what you have. You know what I'm saying? And make the best with less, you know? No matter what, make the best with less. And yes, I'm out. Yeah.
Casually grappling with actualities, never letting stressful times master me. Mashing passionately, them telling you I'm wrong is the attempt to deceive. Under pressure, it takes effort to survive when under siege. How you survive is not a crime if you shine in victory. I'm guilty of robbery. Every day I stay awake and breathe. I should have took in my last breath and met death long ago. Yet I remain in flesh. Step for step is my aim to grow. So you know, you can never play me low. I'm going blow for blow.